the week of October 23rd. We're going to do market analysis for this week. It's going to be real quick, nice and spicy. I didn't do one last week solely because the market really ranged last week. It did the same thing it did previous week, so there were no new levels. All right, so before I get started, I am Kadeen Shaw. And again, disclaimer, this is not any type of financial advice. This is not trading advice. This is solely just me using mathematical calculations and analysis to speak about the charts. So I'm going to start with future YM. And again, we have about 44 minutes, roughly Eastern for before the futures market open. So let me go ahead and look at YM real quick and show you some of the levels that I'm looking at on all my tickers, and so we can see what's going on. In addition, I want you guys to know that earnings is this week, tech company earnings. So again, QQQ is going to be very important to watch this week as we have big earnings from Meta, we have Google, we have Amazon. So we have a lot of these tech companies that are reporting earnings this week. So again, that can kind of, I'm not going to say kind of, let's see how that affects the market. So let's go ahead and look at YM real quick. So on YM, the level that I'm looking at for YM, again, my support that I have is about the 29,543 area. And then the resistance that I have is the 34,246 area. So that's what I'm looking at for YM. In addition, I'm looking for YM to be contained. Every time you see me switch to a chart, this is going to be my weekly containment box. All right. So I have that for, I typically have two, but I have one for YM. So right now I'm looking to see what YM is going to do. Right now you can see that back in September, at the end of the month, before we started going bullish, at the end of September, we saw that the RSI actually was at the oversold area. So that's why you see price to start to turning back up. Now price has already crossed over the 50 line, which is here. Now we can see that the 50 line is acting as support. So now I'm looking to see how far up YM could go, just in general, or the market in general. I have this daily supply zone that's acting as support or resistance. Sorry, I'm going to have another one up here. So we'll see how far it pushes up. And we do still have some strong buying power going on, or some buying pressure. And then this downtrend line that's acting as support as well. So we're going to see once the market opens today, just kind of keep an eye on, see what the futures market do today, once it opens at 6 p.m. Eastern, and just to kind of take a look at it to see what it does leading into our market tomorrow. This is ES, same thing. ES has some level as well. It was oversold back in the end of the month, and end of September. That's why you saw October has been really a bullish month going up. Even if you go to the weekly chart, look at the candlestick formation on the weekly. It's a nice little doji here. First of all, we see an inverse hammer right at support, which is a bullish reversal pattern. And after that, we see a doji, and a doji typically states that, okay, indecision or whatever trend was happening, we were downtrending for a while, it may be coming to an end. So that what this doji may signify. And from there, you can see that the market literally for this month, we've been bullish for this October going up. So we got one more week. So let's see if we can finish closing out this month bullish as well. So I'm looking to see price to push all the way back up as well, to see where we can go before any type of drop to the bottom. NASDAQ, which is, again, NASDAQ is what you want to pay attention for this week, because we have all these tech companies that are reporting earning. All right. So one thing I'm looking at for NASDAQ, I have this zone here that I marked. I marked it as a demand zone solely because price already went into it. So it's somewhat of a supply zone. But again, I put it as a demand zone because price did not push back from it. So with everything going on, I'm seeing if price is going to be able to push all the way through and go up. We have the RSI haven't crossed over yet, the 50 line. So we'll see how that works. But you can see that we're trying to still get up there. So on NASDAQ, my resistant level. And again, in addition, if price decide to come through and bust through this zone, past my supply, my trend line, and also come up to this second zone, which is a daily supply zone, I have my resistant level for NASDAQ at 12,207. That area for resistance to show some potential downside movement. And again, this orange box is going to be my weekly box where I feel like price is going to be contained for the entire week. Let's go to Russell real quick. And this is the Russell future as well. So on Friday, the Russell actually closed at my resistant level. So I have 1746, which is 1746.30. That's my resistant level for the Russell future. You can see that price literally rejected from it on Thursday, and it came up and closed. In addition to that, they have a downtrend line that's acting as resistance. So I have a double resistant level here on Russell. So I'm looking to see now, price is trying to leave this daily demand zone. Let's see if price is going to be able to come through and go all the way up and push through literally this trend line. You can see that price wants to push up through it because, again, price did push up on, what day is that? Tuesday, it did push up, but actually sellers push it back down. On Wednesday, we gapped up, open above it, and then price came back down. So you can see that the buyers are trying to push up over this trend line. So we can see now this week coming up, how is this trend line going to hold? Are the buyers going to be able to push up through it and go up a little bit further before they come down? And again, we're trying to see this W pattern that we're trying to finish up. So let's see how that looks and go from there. And you can watch the RSI as well, trying to cross over the 50 line. On the VIX, what I saw on the VIX actually finally came down into this daily supply zone, and it closed there on Friday. It also closed as support on this uptrend line. So you can see right now, I'm looking to see now, is VIX going to be able to come down further? It ate up all this zone right here, which is the first daily zone. So I'm speculating that the VIX potentially may be able to come down even to the second zone down here, the second daily demand zone at the bottom. And if it's able to come down here and then probably push back up, if you see the VIX past this, then you're going to see the market go a little bit further, right? In addition to that, this orange box is where I have the VIX being contained in for the week. And you can see on the RSI as well, the RSI is starting to cross down on the 50 line. So that's telling me that the VIX is trying to go a little bit lower. So I'm going to be watching this to see if this can be support and push the VIX back up. Let's move into our market, which is Dow. So I drew that on the Dow. The Dow was showing you guys the W pattern, the chart pattern. You can see this W going down, up, down, up, down, up. So this is a W pattern, which is a bullish reversal pattern. It's called a double bottom. A double bottom is we have a bottom here and another low here, somewhat of an equal low here. So this is a double bottom pattern. And a double bottom that's formed by support is technically a bullish reversal pattern. And you can see when that double bottom was formed, what happened, price shot up. And we've been going up since then. In addition to see when this is a breakout, whenever price breaks above the middle of this W pattern, which you see it did, price closed above this middle part right here, this little middle. When price closed above it, then you can expect price to push further up. And that's, you can see right now, that's what we're seeing. So because the Dow already broke its W pattern, and you can see that I'm looking to see that Dow may have some more room to go up. Look at the RSI as well for the Dow. The Dow also crossed over the 50 line. It crossed over here on Tuesday, October 18th, and then it tried to come back down and retest that 50 line, and then it acted as support. So this is going to be a good indicator for me looking at the Dow, because now the 50 line is acting as support, which is telling me that price is trying to still push further up. And you can see that the Dow is trying to even go further up. So I wouldn't be surprised, or I'm watching to see whether or not for this week coming up, if the Dow is going to be able to go at least up to this daily supply zone before we see some movement down. If it pushes through this daily supply zone as well, I'm looking to see, can we form a double top? Again, down here's a double bottom. We can form a double top up here. So what I see, here's already a top right here. And if price is able to come to this same area and reject, which is from this red line, which is a resistant line, and also from this green line, which is a resistant line as well, my trend line, and from my weekly line, which is here. So I have a triple area here in addition to this daily supply zone. So if the Dow is able to come through and bust through this blue box, I have this triple area that I'm looking to see some form of rejection from. And again, if it's able to push through this, I also have this down trend line. So I'm looking to, this is the area that I'm watching for the Dow. If price is able to rally up this week, to see some type of rejection here before we go back down to the bottom. And by then you should be able to see the RSI. If the Dow does go up to this level on your RSI, you should see the RSI heading up to this red line, which is going to be my rejection line on the RSI. That's telling me that we're overbought, which now from there you may potentially see some downward movement. So that's going to be the Dow. Let me go to SPX. Same thing, as you can see, SPX again have not broken its W pattern yet, but the Dow has. And typically, remember, the Dow, whatever the Dow does, SPX does follow suit. But again, it definitely depends on momentum tomorrow and throughout the week. It also depends on earnings. All right. As you can see, as you know, I think Twitter, there's a news Twitter, Elon already, somebody, he released like 75% or cut 75% jobs already. So it's going to be a lot going on. So pay attention to what the market is doing, what's going on in the news, and then look at your chart. So that's SPX. I'm still looking at that. I have a supply zone here, but I mark it as a demand zone solely because price has already entered into it. If SPX is able to break above this yellow trend line and this red trend line, if it's able to break through and go up, then I'm expecting SPX to typically go all the way up here if it's able to break through this area here. So I'm going to watch that. And it's also trying to come up on the RSI is trying to cross over the 50 line. So just as of this week coming up, I'm seeing a lot of bullish movement or a lot of bullish signals. But again, like I mentioned, the market and earnings is going to be what you guys are going to tap into and see what's going on. But again, right now, I am seeing a lot of bullish indicators for this upcoming week. This is SPY. Same thing for SPY. You can see that everything is literally bullish. They're all crossing over on the 50 line for the RSI, and they're trying to approach. Even when I calculate my weekly highs for all my tickers, my lows actually were moved up and my highs were moved higher. So what does that tell me when I calculate? It tells me that for this week coming up, the market is trying to push higher this week. Again, this is not financial advice. This is not trading advice. This is just me telling you what I calculate and what is the calculation shows. So again, when I calculate all my calculations for this week, whether it's a daily or the weekly, they're all pointing bullish. They're all telling me bullish, or they're all giving me bullish signals. But again, you have to make sure you use your chart and use whatever you need to use to make your decision. All right. On Russell, not the futures, but the regular Russell, you can see that right now price did close here. It did cross my trend line. So now I'm expecting the Russell to probably break above this resistance level, which is the 1742 area. Why? Because it did it already on Tuesday, October 18th. Price did gap up above it and came back down. So I don't expect this resistance level to hold this week. But again, we will watch and see, especially because it already broke above my trend line. So again, we're looking to see that we're kind of coming up and we're actually still trying to be bullish. Also, if you look at the RSI, the yellow line is going to be the price line, which is the RSI line, and the blue line is going to be your moving average. You can see right now as price crossed up over my moving average back on September 30th, like I mentioned, the last month or the last day of September. Remember, October has been bullish since we started. So once October started, you can see here, October 1st, this yellow line has been above this blue line this entire time. So what does that mean? That's telling me that we've been bullish. So and even though price go up and down, it hasn't crossed back down. It came here on the October 20th. So last Thursday, this red candle tried to come back down, but the blue line act as support and it's starting to go back up. So right now, just from the RSI is indicating still bullish movement because again, the price action is above my moving average. So hopefully that makes sense. For Apple, same thing. Apple actually it's above its RSI is above the moving average line. And it's also now trying to cross up on the 50 line. So we want to see if it's going to cross up and turn back down or if it's going to cross and keep going. And like I said, Apple does have earnings coming up this week as well. So that's going to be important. I do have 150-10 area as resistance for Apple. So I'm looking to see is Apple going to be able to come up here? And again, it's based on earning. And if so, it's going to be able to push through. Let's see how that works. Apple is right at its middle where this W pattern we see here. Apple is literally closed right at the level of the W pattern. So I'm looking to see if Apple is going to be able to break through that or come back down. So again, if you trade tech stocks, again, if you like Tesla, you like the Apples, you like all the tech stock that you see, Amazon, which again, we're Meta, we're going to be reporting earnings this week. You can look at SQQQ to find support. All right. So what does that mean? I have on my support level that I have. So first thing I want to show you guys is SQQQ, which is the inverse of triple Q, is actually now leaving the triple zone. I have a monthly, weekly, and a daily demand supplies on up here, and SQQQ is leaving that zone now. So what I'm looking to see now as SQQQ leave that zone, I'm looking to see where is they going to find support. Because where SQQQ finds support, you will see triple Q find resistance there. So the first level I'm looking for SQQQ to find support is 5220 area. If it's able to break through that area, which I probably potentially will see because, again, I see these candles, they did close below it. So, again, I wouldn't be surprised. This is a support area, but not strong for me. So the main support area that I'm looking for SQQQ to find support, if it's able to break through the 5220 area, I'm looking for the 4585 to act as support. All right, if it passed through this demand zone here. So that's SQQQ. In addition, I'm going to look at UVXY, which is, again, going to be the shares for the VIX. As you can see right now, UV on Friday, two things happen. It's formed these nice two candlestick pattern, these hammers. One is a bullish, one is a bearish, but again, these are both bullish signals. It formed somewhat in a demand zone and right at the support line for this downtrend line. So I want to see how this downtrend line is going to act. If UV is going to be able to stay here and then go back up, then you will see the market go down. However, if UV is going to be able to come a little bit deeper into this demand zone, which I potentially may see, because again, this candle on Friday closed lower than it did on this candle on Thursday. So what am I seeing? I'm seeing lower lows and lower high. So I'm seeing lower highs, a high here, a lower high here, and another lower high here. I see a low, a lower low, and a lower low. So this is somewhat of a downtrending pattern for the VIX, or the UV rather. So I'm looking to see if now price is going to be able to come all the way down and pick up some more buys into this demand zone, causing the market to go higher before we turn back around. So that's what I'm looking at for UV. In addition to that, this trend line right here may act as support. And look at your RSI as well. We are still below my moving average. So until we're able to cross back up, we can see what's going on. And UV actually resisted from its overbought area. So that's why you see prices going down now. So if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube so you guys can see, subscribe to the Telegram channel. And again, man, happy trading in these streets, man. Let's go ahead and print this money for this week. All right.